Good morning, police emergency. How may I assist you?
449-1120.
Good evening and welcome to Ghana Police Watch, your favorite TV series showing on the major TV networks across Ghana. This week we went to Ho to meet Volta TV, the latest station to broadcast Ghana Police Watch.
You're welcome to Global FM as well as Volta One Television. We are located in the Volta Regional Capital, Ho. We are the only television station in the Volta region, and we are very happy to partner the Ghana Police Service to bring the Ghana Police Watch to our viewers. Make a date with us and tune in every week.
From all of you, we say welcome. This evening, we present a special program on police bail, supported by ARAP, which simply means Accountability, Rule of Law, and Anti-Corruption Program. Bail is a temporary release of a suspect from police custody pending further investigations or court appearance. What are the conditions for bail? What are the rights of the suspect, and how do they go about securing bail? Is bail free, or do you have to pay for it? Just a few questions we are being asked going about making this important program. Considering the importance of bail to our justice system and indeed all citizens, we went out and about to sample some opinions, especially from young people. Is police bail free?
From what I know, I think you don't have to pay, but they do take money.
So bail is not free?
No, I don't think you need to pay for a bail.
Some stations don't take money, but some take money.
The bail is free, but depending on the crime.
Bail is not free. You pay.
Sometimes they collect money from those who come to bail.
One is made to pay somebody, but I haven't really gone through the process before. But from what I hear and what around, I think you need to pay someone.
Bail is not free.
Sometimes I don't understand the reason why they have to take those money. So we just take it like it's normal.
What is normal?
Nowadays, when they arrest people, they have to go and pay before they bail them. So it's no more free. It's not free.
Sir, Obiya assembly at the police station, near the Kotosela. Ye Berlina, and in Blum say, Jiska. So, and not Ghana Harmono. Ebenemus went to his car. Yes, I've been Ghana High Police officer went to his car. Almost friendly Panama, just a word to ya, BB answer. On my bill now.
I'm not sure it's supposed to be free. I don't know much about bailing, but I'm not sure bail is supposed to be free. Because somebody will be in custody for probably a crime he or she has committed. And before the person be granted bail, I think they need to be penalized a little bit. So it doesn't have to be free.
If you have to bail someone in a police case, maybe that person have done something wrong or something. So in order to access the bail, or in order to bail that fellow, there may be some amount that you have to pay before you can bail the fellow.
If you have to ask me, I think no one needs to pay money for that.
Do you have to pay for bail?
Yeah, you have to pay money to get your person bailed. Yeah.
I think you have to pay.
I think it should be free.
Bail is free.
Bail is to pay an amount of money to release that person from jail. So yeah, you have to pay something.
Bail is free.
Bail is free.
Bail at every level in criminal prosecution is free.
You don't need to pay when, let's say, you are in custody and somebody has to come and pay before you are released on bail.
Bail is free. It must be devoid of all fees and charges. But from these responses, it is very clear that a lot more public education is needed to ensure that the law is upheld in all situations and circumstances.
I think it's a matter of education, that the public somehow don't know that bail is free.
We are in the rural town of Anyirawase in Ho West, Volta region. At the police station, a young man is being brought in by two police officers having been arrested for public order offense.
We arrest basically on 2 points. One is we arrest on reasonable suspicion that a person might have committed a crime. That is one. And we also arrest when a person has actually been seen committing a crime.
The station is run by Superintendent Felicia Ayesu, former District Commander at Nima Police Station in Accra.
Compare Anyanawasi to Nima, there is a great difference. There is vast difference. It is quiet. It's quiet.
The young man is interviewed by an investigator who clearly spells out his rights and takes a caution statement.
Do you know the reason why you are brought here?
No, please.
A case of assault was reported against you by one Kwesi Konjima. Do you know him?
Yes, please.
The statement he can write himself if he can read and write, or the investigator can write for him. But the position of the law is that if you write for him, you have to read it back for him before he signs it.
You are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so. But whatever you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence. You are also reminded of your right to consult a counsel of your own choice.
Thank you.
It is not every accused person who can afford the services of a lawyer. So the state have this legal aid scheme that goes to the aid of people, of accused persons who cannot afford the services of lawyers, and is supposed to be free. The law is that you must earn less than the minimum wage.
26082.
Sometimes they can write, but they can sign. But most of the time, what we see is that when they can write, they also tamprint. But some of the people, although they can write, they can sign.
Generally, in our Ghanaian context, what are the kinds of cases that even go to the police station? Quite a significant percentage from my own research, as well as other research I'm acquainted with, cases involving stealing. And if you look at crime statistics also, stealing, not even stealing of very, on a large scale. Large scale, you often get robbery, but stealing, petty stealing, debt recovery issues, contractual problems between family members, assault. So you can say it's in a category of minor to less serious crimes. These are the kinds of cases that go there. Now, it also appears, and if ask any lawyer who goes to any police station often, it appears that people seek personal vendettas, you know, and revenge. So I'll report you to the police.
Immediately he says, no, I didn't say this. By law, you are supposed to take it out. That is what you do. And normally, with police statement, we don't, if he disagrees, the portion that he disagrees on, you don't cancel. We have a way of cancelling by circling it, circling both sides. When you circle both sides, it means that it is not accepted. It has been cancelled.
I met this man.
There is a backstory to the incident, but things got out of hand last night when he went to buy kelewele.
I was chatting with the kelewele seller. And so this man came in, starts with all insults and farmlands matters. He confronted me once with that thing, that my father's farmland belonged to them. He even used his hand on me. That's why it has turned to a fight between I and him. I'm innocent, so I'm ready anytime to appear before the court.
Make robbery and theft unattractive. Help stop the robbers and thieves. They come only to steal and deprive you of your valuable property. Did you know that your stolen items are sold cheaply to unsuspecting buyers? Do not make your home or workplace an easy target for robbers and thieves. Protect your property. Secure your electronic gadgets such as TV sets, ghetto blasters, laptop computers, mobile phones, and other valuables by marking them. Permanently mark your items with your name or a unique symbol. This will serve as a disincentive to thieves. Take pictures of your items and write down their serial and model numbers, as well as keep purchase receipts of your property. Also know the special ID number on your mobile phone, tablet or iPad, and remember to inscribe a unique mark on your items. Your ID marks, photographs, receipts, model and serial numbers, and special ID numbers of your mobile devices will help the police to retrieve your items in case they are stolen. Fit your doors with quality locks and secure your windows. Install CCTV cameras if you can afford them and make sure they are working properly. It helps the police to arrest thieves. Know your neighbors and develop a good rapport with them so that you can assist one another in the event of a robbery attack. Do not resist or fight back when robbers demand for your money or other valuables. You may be harmed or killed if you resist. In the event of a robbery, do not touch things around before you call the police. Thieves always leave clues at the scene. This may help in tracing them. Call the police emergency lines on 191 toll-free on all networks and 18555 on Vodafone and MTN for help.
What's that from outside? Silence can be frightening when you're home with your family alone at night or away. But you can help protect your home and loved ones with an easy-to-use Response 1 alarm monitoring and police response system. Response 1 helps protect against burglary and other security emergencies by linking your home or workplace to a Response 1 monitoring center and police response system. Tailored alarm system packages for your home and workplace starting as low as 5 cedis a day. Call us now on 030-277-0359, 020-744-3629 or 020-744-3811. Response 1. It's sound advice.
Everything has been installed. I will be fine, Dad.
High tech. She did lie bad. Could happen tonight. This are no fence.
They couldn't get in this time.
How come?
Security warehouse.
Smart choice. I guess you have some footage for me there. Crystal clear picture. Pause. I think I know this man. He has a long history with robbery and rape. You are fortunate to have equipped your house with gadgets from Security Warehouse. Call it in. We'll begin the investigation from here.
Control, come over.
In detention, the young man is made to see a senior officer who further reviews the case. It is almost 48 hours since the young man was arrested, the period the police is allowed to hold a suspect before they can be bailed or taken to court.
With the advent of the 1992 Constitution, by Article 14, Clause 3, it is a mandatory provision that we can't keep the person, the suspect, for more than 48 hours in our custody.
In the wisdom of the lawmaker, the police cannot detain over and above 48 hours. It should be within the 48 hours. There is a law, and we must comply with the law.
Either you grant the suspect bail or you arrange him before a court for a determination.
The young man wants bail, and the police see no reason why not.
What we call police bail generally falls within the category of conditions of bail we would call recognizances. And these are more or less conditions under which a person would be given his or her liberty, one who has been suspected of having committed an offense but is allowed to go home, and not be kept in a police station, falls under that category. But generally, it is within a certain constitutional philosophy and, of course, human rights that a person should have his or her liberty and should not be unduly restrained. So within that context, police bail, which occurs at the level of the police, who are the primary, of course, law enforcement agency. When somebody has committed an offense, they look at the circumstances. It should be possible for the police to say, okay, you go home while we conduct our investigations, but under certain conditions.
At times, a person may voluntarily submit himself to the police on a charge made against him by a complainant. Then the person will be kept in cells. You may be looking for the investigator. You'll be told that the investigator has gone to court. Meanwhile, he hasn't gone to any court.
Because of the lack of proper vital statistics on people, house addresses and all of that, the police are forced to always keep people in detention because the flight risk is high. They fear that if they let you go, they may not get you again. And often the complainant is central to the investigation as well as the accused person. They can get the complainant, that person has his or her freedom, but they're always worried about the suspect and feel they can't get you.
The person becomes jittery, he becomes frustrated. The person who has been arrested becomes jittery, becomes frustrated and wants his liberty. So when it comes to that, that is where we have some of the major abuses. And some of our men are also saying that they take advantage of the situation, the vulnerability of the person, so that if you don't do this, you remain there. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Unfortunately, there are times that the suspect is intimidated.
Sometimes the individual arrested also will call his people that, go and look, it has happened to me before, go and look for money. Because by all means, the police may not even be thinking of collecting it. But it seems that become a norm. It has become a practice that once you are taken into custody, you have to look for money to pay to get your liberty. But that is not the case.
Immediately you are told, go to the cells. Then your family members may come and plead for bail, as if the bail is for sale. It is not for sale.
I've heard reports that police officers have actually taken the cash and released the people. What we've not been able to get, and it's just following up with those respondents, is, was the money returned to you? Yes, that question is left unanswered.
Do you have anybody who will come and stand as a surety for you?
Yes, I have.
An uncle is contacted and he's prepared to come to the station and do just that.
On the bail bond, there is an amount that is put there that in case the suspect or the accused do not appear as and when is needed, we are supposed to extreat the bail bond so that the surety will be made to pay the money.
Make robbery and theft unattractive. Help stop the robbers and thieves. They come only to steal and deprive you of your valuable property. Did you know that your stolen items are sold cheaply to unsuspecting buyers? Do not make your home or workplace an easy target for robbers and thieves. Protect your property. Secure your electronic gadgets such as TV sets, ghetto blasters, laptop computers, mobile phones and other valuables by marking them. Permanently mark your items with your name or a unique symbol. This will serve as a disincentive to thieves. Take pictures of your items and write down their serial and model numbers, as well as keep purchase receipts of your property. Also know the special ID number on your mobile phone, tablet or iPad, and remember to inscribe a unique mark on your items. Your ID marks, photographs, receipts, Model and serial numbers and special ID numbers of your mobile devices will help the police to retrieve your items in case they are stolen. Fit your doors with quality locks and secure your windows. Install CCTV cameras if you can afford them and make sure they are working properly. It helps the police to arrest thieves. Know your neighbors and develop a good rapport with them so that you can assist one another in the event of a robbery attack. Do not resist or fight back when robbers demand for your money or other valuables. You may be harmed or killed if you resist. In the event of a robbery, do not touch things around before you call the police. Thieves always leave clues at the scene. This may help in tracing them. Call the police emergency lines on 191 toll-free on all networks and 18555 on Vodafone and MTN for help.
Was that from outside? Silence can be frightening when you're home with your family alone at night or away. But you can help protect your home and loved ones with an easy-to-use Response 1 alarm monitoring and police response system. Response 1 helps protect against burglary and other security emergencies by linking your home or workplace to a Response 1 monitoring center and police response system. Tailored alarm system packages for your home and workplace starting as low as 5 cedis a day. Call us now on 030-277-0359, 020-744-3629 or 020-744-3811. Response 1. It's sound advice.
Stop! Are you qualified to use the siren? Do you know that using a siren is regulated by law? Not every vehicle is qualified to use the siren on our roads. The road traffic regulation allows only certain classes of vehicles to use sirens. These include vehicles used for official purposes by the President, a police vehicle and those used by other recognized government security agencies, a motor vehicle used by the fire service, an ambulance used by a hospital or clinic, and a bullion vehicle registered by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA. Know that it is an offense to fit and use a siren on your vehicle if you are not licensed to do so. You will be fined if you break the law. Remember, only qualified vehicles should use the siren.
The bail bond is duly signed and the young man is released temporarily from police custody. Unfortunately, many suspects find it difficult to find people who are prepared and qualified to stand as surety for them. Sometimes, and in some instances, help may come from unscrupulous persons known as bail contractors. We encountered some bail contractors during the course of making this program, but they were not prepared to be interviewed on camera. We were, however, allowed to film a revealing testimony incognito.
If they put your brother for insider, then I go bail him. See, that be the thing that they do. You see, I get people, but some of the people to Charlie, them be bad people. They go take your money, then go run away. Then go ask for some papers. I get them for here. Some documents they here, the land titles, whatever, rents, whatever. I get all the documents. We are going to standing as guarantee. Give your brother. So say if your mind day inside, then we go know what you go do. You go give something small, then I go see people. Then you know, for people for drink water, then I mean, you know how they do them.
Oh yes, I am aware of bail contractors. I even have personally had to advise a client who fell, prey to a bail contractor years ago, and that bail contractor supposedly brought in fake land documents to stand surety for this person became another matter. Graciously, the court saw the fraud that had been perpetrated. The police could not locate the bail contractor again. And so my client got his freedom, but of course with a very stern warning from the judge.
Normally, I advise my investigator that you have to dive into their personal life deeply before you release suspects to them. Because I could remember once one of my investigators brought him as a surety, but I studied the person. They normally come round with their document, land documents, building documents, indentures and other things. So after studying the whole thing and looking at the person, I said, no, let me go with you. My investigator had wanted to be a little bit offended, but I said, no, I'm doing this to help you. We went, not knowing that the person is a percher. He's perching with a friend.
It's a worrying issue, if I may say so, in the sense that in the course of prosecution, after the courts have granted accused persons bail, especially when the conditions demands that the bail must be a justified bail, you notice at certain times people come with documents that looks very suspicious. There are cases where it has been noted that these same documents being produced in guarantee of the bail has already been used by the same person involved, which invariably means that the person involved is a bail contractor, which is actually a worrying situation to, I believe, the justice system, because it always truncates at times the course of justice, because we are looking at the criminal law, part of which reasons say public safety. In this case, as soon as these bail contractors succeed in securing such bails for the accused person, some of them abscond. Eventually, the cases stall. In fact, they run at a halt. At times, it is struck out. And that is the end of the road for prosecution, which is a very dangerous trend.
Even with independent witnesses, when a statement is being taken, some police stations have permanent independent witnesses who would stand for you, and only heaven knows whether they even understand the statement you are putting down, though they don't say anything. It's just not be in the presence of an independent person. So I am aware. Should it be so? No. And I think some of these challenges go beyond the police. I have also, anytime I've had the opportunity, say we need to look at the infrastructure for justice. See, the justice system is not just the police or the law courts, but allied services. A person should be able to get bail even on his own account, on your own word, that self-recognizance bail, to say that I will come. I mean, if you picked up any person working in, let's say, a white-collar job, that person's house is known. I live in Reggie Manuel, I stay here, I can tender in my passport. On those conditions, you should be able to grant the person bail, so that we do away with all these bail contractors and all of that. If we fix our addressing system, if we fix our communication system, if we fix the ways in which we can track the person.
You're welcome to the discussion segment here on Ghana Police Watch, and to do the discussion with me is Mercy Wilson Brown, Chief Superintendent Mercy Wilson Brown. Also, is a very known face, Samson Ladia Yenini. He's a lawyer and a rights advocate. The conversation we're going to have today is about bail. And as you've heard some of the people we spoke with earlier, they're talking about the fact that for them, for most of the people we spoke with, they believe that bail cannot be free. You have to pay for bail. Let's get on, or first of all, let's just understand that bail is free. What do you do, or what are the processes when it comes to bail or getting bail for someone? I'd like to start with you, Samson.
Okay. Thank you very much. And this is a very important program. I have watched a couple of times, and I think that you're doing a good job here for the country. Now, the Constitution, and we start with from the most important documents of law in this country. The Constitution, in Article 14, is very clear that whenever you are arrested, you are restricted, or you are detained, you have a right to be entitled to bail within 48 hours or be taken to a court. When you are taken to a court, you are either remanded or you are granted bail, depending on the enormity of the crime that is involved. Until very recently, there were a category of offenses that you were not subject to be giving bail for. But now, there is no offense that is not subject to bail. So whether it is hijacking, it is piracy, it is narcotic, it's rape, it's defilement, it is an attempt to escape from lawful custody, it is murder, it is robbery, all of these were not subject to bail. But recently, via the Supreme Court on the Martin Pebu case against the Attorney General, all offenses are bailable.
So why is it that sometimes, in some instances, or why do people, the people we've spoken with, say that sometimes you have to pay?
There is this misconception that people pay for bail. I want to start on the point that bail is free. Bail has been defined by the Black Law Dictionary in the context of Section 96 of the Act 30 he's talking about, to be an agreement for you, the suspect, to kind of go home, have your liberty, and get back whenever you are called. I want to get to the public this saying that it's a misconception that you pay for bail.
So when they say bail is set for 50,000 cedis, you're not paying any of that 50,000?
No, no, no.
The amount set at which the bail is set is not money you are supposed to pay. It is when you are in breach of the conditions for the bail. First of all, we need to be sure that your identity is one we have established, that you have a place of abode, that you are not a flight risk, for example, that you are not someone who will interfere with the investigations that are ongoing. Now, when we establish all of these things, the law places an emphasis and says the bail conditions, bail should not be used as a punishment. So that should be at the back of every prosecutor and every court. Every court is instructed by the law to ensure that they don't use bail as punishment. Since you are not using it as punishment, you still have to now get to understand that the amount set for the bail is not intended to be used to punish you.
Okay.
It is intended to procure your attendance to court. And if you fail to attend to court, in fact, it is not immediately that you are called upon to make good and pay the money. In fact, there are people who are giving bail terms without sureties. There are people who are giving bail terms without any justification, meaning they are not supposed to produce any money or any documentation to secure their bail. We call it self-recognizance. Okay. Because you are so known, we can vouch for your identity and where we can find you. When we can't find you, they may call upon you once or twice. A bench warrant may be issued. If we still can't find you, then the one who stood surety for you will be called upon that you came
and said, I am Israelite, I know Samson Ladi, I can guarantee for him for this bail. And this is the amount at which the bail was set. You will be called upon to show reason. The law says show cause why the bail bond should not be extreated.
Right.
If you give good reason, you'll be allowed to go and find Samson and bring him to the court. If you are able to do that, you are free. There's no problem. But if you are not able, then there will be a treatment of the bail bond, meaning that there is going to be a forfeiture of the recognizance, and then you'll be called upon to pay the money for which you guaranteed. At the police station, it must never happen that money is demanded of you or the person who is coming to stand surety for you before you can obtain your freedom or your liberty. If any police officer demands money to grant bail, tell them to their face that they are breaking the law and that they are not only involved in seeking to extort, but they are actually committing a crime. So in effect, they are turning themselves into criminals. They are not supposed to do that. Nowhere in their service instructions are they required to take any money. Nowhere under the Constitution or under the Civil Procedure, the Criminal Procedure Act, are they required to take money. So if a police officer asks you to give money, first, it's wrong, it's not allowed, you are not supposed to give money.
So how does it happen that in some instances, so people say that they pay? What is it that they pay?
Yes, we hear of such complaints, but they are not supposed to happen. Bail is free. We are not supposed to pay for it at the police station level, and that's what I want to pass to.
Right. Is there any situation where maybe at the courts you have to part with some monies?
There is, but even that, it will have to come from you, the person involved. But before I address that, you see, I think that Madam will acknowledge that sometimes suspects find themselves in a situation where it's frustrating. When the police also give a certain impression, as though if you did not part with something, you will not gain your liberty. And so they know, someone knows, having looked at the evidence that has been brought before them, for which they have arrested or invited you and turned the invitation into arrest, that there's actually nothing for you to answer. And when their service instruction instructs them categorically to simply let you go, some may try to make a profit out of it, and then they will keep you. They will be delaying, and you are not sure what is going to happen to you. It may be getting to a weekend, it may be getting to a holiday, and they are afraid, what is going to happen to me? So they may come forward. They themselves may come forward and approach the officer. Officer, can I do this for you to help me out? And then somebody may take some money, okay? And that is wrong. They, the police, must give the people every assurance and the impressions that when you come, you are entitled to bail when we can give it to you. But if you do things in a way that make people suspect that until and unless I part with something, I will not gain my freedom, you are encouraging them to try to give you money, to give you bail. The reason bail is subject to abuse, not only at the level of the police, but even in courts, is because it's a discretionary relief. The person who has to grant you bail must exercise their discretion.
They look at the circumstances.
Even though the law ought to be understood to mean that that discretion must be exercised not capriciously, but judicially.
Yeah.
It must be exercised reasonably, so that if the person meets all the conditions, you should grant them bail. But we know people exercise their discretion sometimes influenced by other factors. So because it's a discretionary relief, it is subject to abuse, even at the courts.
Right, so something granted that, yes, you're supposed to be granted bail, but then the police can, I would want to believe, that in some instances say that for your own protection, they may decide to hold you.
Of course, when you have to exercise discretion and exercise it judicially and exercise it reasonably and not capriciously, it can also include that you want to protect the suspect. But you know what? That jurisdiction or power is within 48 hours. After that, you must go to a court and show the court why the person still ought to be kept in custody or remanded for their own safety. You may succeed, you may not succeed.
Now, something earlier on when you were talking about the conditions or the reasons why, and that the conditions on which you let you go, you talked about the fact that this person, you, the suspect, must be identified. Now, in a situation where we can't readily identify, we don't have a reliable identification process or national ID process, and you also don't know, or there's no reliable addressing system, aren't these the reasons why the police would want to hold you unnecessarily?
It's a bigger problem, and even the Supreme Court had to admit that. And in the words of Justice Wood, former Supreme Court, former Chief Justice, we need an address system, a multi-purpose address system. I suppose that's what we now say we are doing by the NIA, the NIA, National Identification Authority process. I think that's for the policy, makers. If they do that and they do it well, and we have also the address system, first the identification and the address system, it will also assist the police to be able to do that job and do it well and faster. Because if you arrest me and you need to take me to my house and you need to follow my surety to the house to be sure of where they live and all of that, and often you are put in my own vehicle, in the process, we will have conversation.
Yes, yes. You have to go to see the suspect's house, SW, the suspect. Then before you agree to bail, you must also go to see the surety's house. While every case will be attended to, suffice that there is only one vehicle at the station, and the vehicle is already en route a case with a case investigator. Depending on what the case is like, how long are we supposed to sit and wait for that investigator to finish using the vehicle before we attend to you without violating the 48-hour principle? We are giving detective allowance. And our operating procedures say that the reason for the detective allowance is for us to be able to do all of these things. The question now is, how much is a detective allowance?
You tell us. I'm sure you have encountered a number of them. How does this work? Bail contractors.
Well, in Justice Dennis Ajay's book, Criminal Procedure and Practice.
All right.
This book.
Okay.
Which
so Criminal Procedure and Practice.
Was just outdoor this week.
Dennis, and apparently you did the review.
Yes, I had the privilege of the honor of doing the review of this book. He calls them professional sureties, what you call the bail contractors. And what they practically are, they are men, more especially, who are around the courts. They are lurking around the courts, premises, and maybe around the police stations. Because that is where they are doing their jobs. Now, this is what they do. They have some documents which will show that there's an indenture for a particular property or a particular land. You are in trouble. You have been brought to court. You have been granted bail. And the condition is that you get a surety to be justified, meaning that when there's justification for the bail, it means that there must be some value, document that shows a certain value
to support it
of the surety's ability. The surety is the one who comes to guarantee, the guarantor, if you like, their ability to be able to pay, that they are people of substance. Now, these guys will show up and say, I'm ready to do that for you at a fee. So you pay them the money, and they use those documents to do the processes for you. And they can use this document to do for as many people that they can find. They will be the same person, but they will come under different names to assist other people. The suspicion is that there is a certain official complicity. Otherwise, they cannot be operating, because certain officers who are supposed to process the sureties, to visit their homes and to inspect the documents, would know these people, would have seen these documents over and again, but maybe they also get their cut. So they keep quiet and they use them. Yes.
But then in such instances, the people who would have to part with monies would be under the impression that they're paying for the bill.
Now, if you are paying someone who is a professional or a bail contractor to do it for you, you should not be heard to come and accuse a police officer that they have taken money from you for bail. You should not be heard to come and accuse a court officer that they have taken money from you to give you bail.
Are you also familiar with these bail contractors?
Very well. Sometimes you find out a document resurfaces, and an astute policeman would not do or oblige the bail, would have to go back to court, okay? Because the reason for the justification is to ensure that the person is duly guaranteed. You have to be cautious. Otherwise, like I said, if that person absconds, there is almost no value at all, because that same document has been used severally. So yes, we recognize there are people who, like litigants, will always lurk around police stations and courts premises just to see if they can offer this. That's business they do, and the public must be mindful of these people.
Right. Now, the other issue I wanted us to discuss has to do with the 48-hour, you can't detain the person for more than 48 hours. How do you understand it? Because we get the impression that you sometimes, use the weekends and holidays to punish people.
The arresting agent has the obligation or has the rights to detain somebody who has offended the law. And your limit is 48 hours. It's clear. We don't have to judge the cases. Ours is just to put the cases together and send it to court for adjudication. If somebody is in detention on a Friday and that person was not worked on for very good reasons, if the surety comes and gets the matter known to the officer on duty, why not? We call someone else.
That's interesting. So yes, it doesn't have to be the investigator.
No, it doesn't.
Because a lot of the time you hear them say, oh, the investigator is not around.
The case is a police case, please. It's a police case. The investigator doesn't own the case. It is 48 hours, and it does not negate holidays and festive periods.
Samson, how do you go around this? I'm sure you've been confronted with that.
Many times. Many times. Some of it is a complainant who has a friend who is a police officer. They call you, they give you a ring, and they say, this matter has been reported to me. If you don't do this by this time, we'll pick you up or we'll teach you some lesson. And then maybe it drags. Sometimes just to show someone, like they say,
where the power lies.
Where power lies. They pick you up without intending to prosecute you. And let's say these are the exceptions, not the rule. I agree that there are a few bad nuts in the system. Like any human institution, it is there. So they pick you up without intending to process you for court, or clearly knowing that what they are dealing with is a civil matter, is a purely commercial, private transaction, something of the sort. And yet, somebody wants to use the police to collect their debts. So they could pick you up and keep you, knowing that they won't take you to court. But that if they picked you up, you feel frightened. and you may call friends and family to quickly mobilize the money, or even if you had it, you find a way of bringing the money to them. So this happens, and it's wrong. It's very wrong. It is the reason I think that many people in this country must learn to stand their ground.
Is it everybody who can stand surety?
Yes, except for few exceptions, such as myself and Mr. Ayeni, who cannot because of our professions. Every man and every woman, ordinary of the general public, can stand surety. I wish the general public come to understand that women can stand surety, and therefore when there are issues and they need to get sureties for their persons who are incarcerated, they do not need to go for bail contractors. They do not need at all. Gone are the days when we said, well, because you're a woman, we cannot give you this. Because you are a lactating mother, we cannot allow you to be. There is no law banning anybody like that to stand surety. We don't have that. Everybody can.
We've heard a lot, and I think it will be instructive to get to speak to the general public.
When issues come, they must understand that we have a duty to do. There are procedures to follow, and we must also take into consideration the interest of the complainant, interest of the public with regards to the commission of that offense, even as we take into consideration the interests or the rights of the suspect. And therefore, while we are trying to do justice, we must not be seen to be fettering impunity, so that we don't just move or let go the suspect because we have 48 hours to let go. There are procedures to follow. The general public must be mindful of the claim that, oh, I took the person there, he's let out, the police is compromised, he has taken bribe and he has left the person. The fact that the suspect is out on bail doesn't kill the case. It doesn't mean the case is useless. We are still, investigation is still ongoing. The person is still liable to answering certain charges, and he's only out there because his rights as a person, his liberties, must not be curtailed. We cannot keep doing the same old things and think we can get new results. If you want new results, you must change the way you do things. So our supervisors out there who work as intermediaries between the officers and the men, please be up on your job, check the men, and you, the men, remember your code of ethics always.
Thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Mercy Wilson-Brown. It's been a really enlightening conversation here, and also this book apparently, as Samson has referred to a number of times, Criminal Proceeding Practice in Ghana, also very enlightening. All right, and this is written by an authority, Dennis Dominic Ejay,
Yes.
he's a judge.
Yes, Justice Dennis Ejay, who is Justice of the Superior Court in the Court of Appeal. He's a trainer of judges, and this is authoritative.
Thank you very much, Samson Ladi Ayenini, a lawyer and rights advocate. And all through the program, we've talked about the fact that you may have complaints about the police and you may want to report to somebody. For now, we're talking about the inspectors, the supervisors, the station officers. But thanks to the European Union, they're working with the Ghana Police Service to develop a complaint mechanism or a channel for you to submit your complaints. And this is in the works. So fortunately, or very soon, that's going to happen. Let's be on the lookout for that. So thank you very much for watching Ghana Police Watch. Make a date, same time next week for another edition. Until then, you enjoy your week.